Hello, welcome to this week's video and thanks for joining me. And I'm sorry that I missed last week. For those of you that watch regularly, I missed last week's video. I try and do these weekly. I missed it. I didn't have anything to tell you at all. I was shattered. I'd started to film a video and I watched it back and it was just rubbish and I sounded tired and like I didn't care what I was talking about. So I thought, let's not bother. Let's wait until this week when I've actually got a bit more to show you. So as you can see, since last time, I finished the bridge. It took so long. It took a long time. Let's move you in a bit closer. So you can see there, I've finished it. Well, I've not done this girder, I suppose. Yeah, but I've done the underneath. I've done the side. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. And then maybe this bit might need a bit of work on it later on, but I want to make sure that I get these buildings and whatnot done first before I add anything more to that. Anyway, so it took ages. It's a lot of layering of pencils. I'll probably overlay this bit of me talking, showing you a bit of the layering. So I went from, I've got my pencil case on my lap here. So I was using a 5H to very, very lightly put in the very first layer of shadow, and then went right up to a 5 or a 6B. And then there was some areas, especially on this curved part here. So the curved part, hopefully you can see that, the shadow really fades, it disappears, or it gets more intense depending on which way you look at it. And I found I was getting too much of a harsh line. It was cutting off a bit too quick. So I got a 9H and really, really lightly went over on that. I've been thinking quite a lot about learning to shade over the last few weeks and how you learn it. And partly this is because I keep seeing people making the same mistakes with it on TikTok and Instagram and places like that. And I am going to say mistakes. I am going to be, I'm going to back myself with this one. I think I'm quite good at shading. I do. And I was taught how to do it. And there's people that are self-taught, and it's great. It's great that people are going out there and learning things and trying to teach themselves how to do these things. But I think I've seen people clicking on to the layering. But one thing that people seem to be missing is the pressure. When you draw, when you're shading, you barely need to put any pressure down. People are pressing quite hard on the paper, and you don't need to do that. It's really, really light. So I think one of the ways I was taught to shade, and I think this is one of the ways anyway, this is what I remember, in high school at some point, and Mr. T, if you're watching, back me up on this one, I think it was you that did this. Mr. Taylor, high school art teacher, he's got a channel, go and have a look at him. Maybe he's watching, maybe. If you're watching, give us a wave, Mr. T, link your channel. I'll do it anyway. But, so, I have this memory of drawing a Marmite jar and a glass bottle. Maybe it was in the same module, maybe not, but doing a line drawing with the glass bottle. So we drew this glass bottle and then we drew just the outline of the light, where the light hit this glass bottle. So outline of the glass bottle, yep, and then outline of where the light was. And then I remember drawing a Marmite jar. And I'm sure there must have been a reference image for this, like a pop art reference. I've Googled this a few times and I can't find it, but it must be a thing. So I might have to ask Mr. Taylor if he's not watching. I'll ask him. And this Marmite, because Marmite jars are black, obviously, and the Marmite in them is really dark, isn't it? So, and I remember it being a Marmite jar, and I remember Marmite coming out of the jar. And I remember drawing it, doing the line drawing, identifying the light, and then shading. And I'm not saying I did it perfect at the time, but I remember that as being when it sort of clicked how you layer shading and how you identify the light and the dark areas to shade. So I'm thinking I'm going to repeat my version of that next week in next week's video. So that was just a very long-winded way of me saying I'm going to do a shading video. I'm going to do a proper shading video where we sit down together and we let's draw a Marmite jar. I need to go and get Marmite, actually. We've run out. I do like Marmite, so let me know if you like Marmite or not. If you don't want to use Marmite, that's all right. You could use Bovril, if you like Bovril instead of Marmite, Vegemite. Other mites are available, I'm sure. Or a jam jar, with like a dark jam in it, that works as well. just something with something dark in it, or a dark jar. It'll work quite well. So next week, gonna do that. We can do that together. And for that, we're going to use a good range of pencils, so H and Bs. Maybe more than you think you might. I think I'm seeing a lot of people starting with a 2H and thinking that that's light enough. It's not. You need the full spectrum. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you've not got them. You can just watch the video. But anyway, what's next for this guy? So you see, we've done the sky, we've done the bridge, we've done the building in the middle, which I can't remember what the building is. I'm going to move on to this area, which is actually a brick wall, which I hadn't fully appreciated until yesterday, and I looked at it properly and realised that's a brick wall, and brick walls are not massively fun to draw, but we'll do it anyway. We're not doing it because it's fun, we're doing it because it's right. No, I don't know. Anyway, and then move on to this drawing, and then this drawing, and I'm still not 100% on this bottom bit. I do think I'm probably going to cut it off here, so it'll still be quite big, probably only lose about 2 inches from the bottom, I think. Yet to decide on that one. It's probably weeks away, so we don't need to worry about that yet. There's quite a lot of detail on this building when we get to it. This has got flowers around it, and I did toy with the idea of just not doing them, but I like them. I think they're really nice, so I'll be doing that. Bigger. I keep saying these things and I keep being wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think doing this will be quicker than doing this, even though these windows are bigger. I think it'll be quicker because this is fiddly and I had to use the glasses. I don't know, we'll see. Obviously each individual window will take longer than each of these individual windows, but I don't have to measure it as much. It doesn't have to be, these would have been so obvious if they were wrong, whereas these, I think I've got a bit more play in them. I don't know, we'll find out. I'm going to try and get better at documenting this drawing as well. I've very much just been cracking on with getting it done. And that is in part because with doing coursework at the same time, I'm kind of drawing when I've got chance, doing coursework when I've got chance, and working, doing my normal actual job, 8 till 6, whatever. So when I'm drawing, I'm not always in the mindset to start filming. But I will, well, filming, but not necessarily talking. So I need to get a bit better at that and documenting what I'm actually doing here. Anyway, that's it for this week. And next week, like I say, we're going to do the drawing video. And I probably won't update you on this next week. I will carry on working on it. If you want to see updates on it, again, follow me on TikTok at Rachel J Harvey Art. Same on Instagram at Rachel J Harvey Art. That's where sort of weekly or daily sometimes, depends how I'm doing, updates go. Or just pop back in a week or two, see how we're doing. If you want to do the shading video, the drawing video next week, then come along to that too. Of course, give us a like if you've liked it. Give me a comment if you like Marmite. If you don't like Marmite, I don't mind. You don't have to like it. You can still draw. Do the draw along. And Wilbur's popped in just to say hi. So I'm going to go now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.